It's every foodie's favorite time of year at Disney California Adventure. Yes, we are talking about the Food and Wine Festival today, and we are going to talk about some of the hits, some of the misses, and everything that you need to know if you are visiting during Food and Wine Festival in 2026.
You're listening to Castle Talk Radio. We're live on the airwaves with Becca and Jessica. Now let's jump into this week's episode.
Becca, Food and Wine Festival has kicked off at California Adventure Park. It is an annual event, and this year it runs March 6th through April 27th. So we have a full-length festival per usual during spring break time, and you just got back from that. So I have yet to make it into the parks for Food and Wine Festival. I need to know, is it worth going? What are the hits? What are the misses?
All right, Jessica, I did just go, and I am not a foodie, but I had my designated foodies with me. So I hung out with Tony, who does my YouTube with me, and then our friend Chris from Parks Pass, and they tried the foods for me.
Yeah,
some things.
It's really the best time when you have a big group of people to sample all the food. So they're not like massive portions, but you do want to try so many things that friends for Food and Wine Festival is the thing. That is when you want to go with your friends for sure.
Definitely. And so to start out, the Sip and Savor passes are back, and we purchased both a 4 coupon one and an 8 coupon one. So we tried 12 items throughout the resort that were included on the Sip and Savor. So we did purchase those. They do have the Magic Key discount on the 8 count and also the 8 count while supplies last. You do get one of those plates that they started giving out last year. Different design, different color, but still kind of cute. I will be honest. I have not used mine at all from last year. I brought it home and it's just sat. And so I let Tony take this year's plate because I'm like, I am not going to use it. You can have it. So they did open early for a preview the day before. And what was different this year, according to everyone we spoke to now, I've had people say they've done this before, but I've never seen it before, is that they sold Sip and Savor passes on the preview day as well. So we were able to purchase those that day and use them. And the biggest takeaway for me from this year is that once again, they are leaning more heavily into the wine part of Food and Wine and less into the food part. I mean, you look at the booth Garlic Kiss, right? It had one food item. So there was only one garlic thing at the whole Garlic Kiss
marketplace. Booth. Yeah.
And it felt that way at basically every single booth had one food item and then drinks. So going into it, just know that more of the food items are going to end up being at the restaurants this year instead of at the booths.
Okay, so that's a really good tip. And I did notice that as I was like updating my articles about Food and Wine and going over the menus. I was also found it really lackluster that so many, with that adjustment, I guess, as they've been doing over the years, adding in more alcohol, the ability to use a Sip and Savor pass has diminished because you can't use it on alcohol. You can use it on non-alcoholic drinks. You can use it on food. You can use the Sip and Savor pass at certain locations that are not marketplace booths, but you have to order that in person to use your Sip and Savor pass. You can't mobile order. And then one of the newer things that I noticed this year too, which I thought is good, but also not good. You can use it for cotton candy, the specific cotton candy that is just for Food and Wine Festival at certain booths because it's like a special flavor. So it's good that you can use it for that, but it's also so random. And I haven't done the math to see if it's like the value thing. I mean, the Sip and Savor pass has always been more about convenience than value per se, but the convenience I feel like is taken away if you don't have any food to buy it from and you can't use it on mobile order.
Yeah, it really did feel like the convenience factor wasn't there this year because so many of the items we got were at restaurants instead. Also, with that, you know the little trick of you can order at any booth for all the other booths. You also cannot order at the booths for the restaurants. So no matter what, if you want to use that sip and savor at a restaurant, you are going in person. And
Mhm.
so we did have to wait in some lines at some restaurants because of that. And that was a big difference this year. Um, and I don't know if it was this way last year, but one other thing I noticed is where they're selling the sip and savers. So this year they're also selling them at every single booth. And I don't
Mm,
know if they did that previously, just because I've always purchased from one of the stores because they open, in the morning and you can buy it before the booths open and stuff. But they are selling them at every single food booth and at the merchandise booths, as well as at those select stores that they usually sell them at.
okay, that makes sense though.
Yeah. So I think I have to tell you food. Like, you want to hear about some of the food that we
Yes,
tried?
definitely.
Okay. So there was a surprise hit among our group, and that was the ramen mac and cheese. I don't know if that's the official name, but the
Right. I
ramen mac
remember
and
seeing that on your social.
yeah, and a lot of people we talked to also loved it. It I did not taste it. I'll just be honest. I didn't have it. I was not hungry at the time that we got that one. But it comes with this chili sauce type stuff that you can mix in. And that is where people are like discovering their own personal flavor, right? Some people love it
Okay.
with the chili sauce and like just dump the whole thing in and mix it in really good. But like Tony, she didn't like it as much with the chili sauce. So there's a little bit of room for experimentation there. And that was one of the surprise hits. Now,
Great. And did they mix? Because I'm imagining the picture from your social where it's like the ramen and the mac and cheese are like side by side, but you're meant to mix it together. Is that right? Or is it already
it's
mixed?
just all like the noodles and the cheese and stuff. And then they have the little
Okay.
fish. I don't even know what those things were that were on it. See, that's how much I'm not a foodie. But you do need to mix some stuff up because some of it more sits on top. So you mix it up and then that's not the ramen on the side. That little thing on the side is the
Oh,
chili.
okay. Got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I just am mispicturing. So
Yeah.
that is a great one to try, and it's super unique for Food and Wine Festival, which I love when they do experiment with like different flavors and mix and matching things that you wouldn't put together normally. Now, my father-in-law, he would. He always comes up with these random things that he puts as a side dish in our meals, and we're always like, okay, we know who made this, but what else was a hit?
Another hit, I would say, obviously you have your Mickey Snickers macaron,
Yes,
right?
and bring it back year
Macaron.
after year for a reason.
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, so there was the Lucky Fortune cookery had a bowl dish that Tony thought was very good. Um, and man, there's just so much to rethink what all we tasted and tried. The ube
Any mocktails that you tried?
um, so I got the California Punch, which was kind of a
Okay.
mocktail,
Hmm.
and it was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about. Now, I didn't put the mango chili pop in it and stir it in because I'm a wimp when it comes to anything even remotely spicy. Um, and our friend Chris tried the cutie mandarin blackberry punch and said
Okay.
that was good. He had a little bit of a hard time though because we had one of the misses right before that.
Wait, what was the miss? What was the miss? Or the biggest miss in your book?
I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. Chicharron nacho cup thing. So it's basically
Mhm.
nachos with pork rinds instead of chips.
Okay.
It's at California Brewery. The brewery.
California craft brews.
Yeah.
Um, Chorizo cheese, tomatoes, salsa verde, and like you said, instead of chips, that's like Yeah,
pork rinds.
pork rinds. So
It comes in a cup,
interesting.
and you have to shake it up
Oh.
to mix it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And once you shake it up, it does not look good at all.
So there's a reason why they serve it unmixed, is because like it needs to look somewhat appetizing, and then after that it's like good luck to you.
Yeah, it look. I'll put the nicer.
Actually, I can see, I'm looking at their the media photo that they did, and it's pre-shook, and I can tell already that it looks suspicious, and that
Okay,
mixing that together would look
if it's really shook and not just like kind of shook for the photo, it basically looks like dog food,
interesting.
or like someone ate it and mixed it up
Yeah.
inside of them. Yeah, and
What a time. What a time for food and wine. All right. So I feel like it needs a refresh as far as food and stuff goes. And if you're going for food and wine and you are a foodie, just plan your food as you normally would. Don't go give into the hype of it being limited time, except for the macaron, the Snickers macaron. And if the food item actually sounds good to you and something that you want, put it in your regular day. And I would probably say, just from what we've talked about, is to skip the sip and savor. Just make your
skip it or
pre-purchase.
get the four
the
count.
four,
I
yeah.
wouldn't get the 8 count unless you're found a lot of things you really want. And also just do the math, because if it's where you're going to have to wait in line at a restaurant, it may not be worth it to get a sip and savor for that rather than being able to mobile order.
Great tip. And were you guys able to do any of the other limited time offerings for food and wine? I know they have Soarin' Over California right now, which we talked about, and they have returning the Jam and Chefs and some other festival entertainment.
Yeah, so we didn't do Soarin' Over California this time, as we did it. They brought it back early for the 25th anniversary of California Adventure. So we had done it that time, but they did bring back out the cuties that morning. So normally that's only on the first day. And then if they have some left over, maybe a day or two after that. They'd done the cuties back when they opened Soarin' Over California, but I think they're so used to people planning on those cuties on the opening day of Food and Wine that they did bring them back. And we did see the Jam and Chefs perform. That was really honestly about it. It just feels, I do think it's time for a refresh. I think they need to bring in some new dishes, maybe rethink. I didn't find much that I think was kid friendly as far as a kid would want to try it, unless you've got a foodie child. So I think there's definitely room for some changes to be made for next year.
I think one of the things they should also consider is just going back through the menus over the years and picking those top sellers, the things that people really liked, and keep it consistent. Maybe not introduce as many new things each year.
Right.
Just let us be excited about the things that we've missed the whole year, and that's only there during food and wine.
Okay. Jessica, I like that idea. And I know there's one dish in particular that you want to see return. And that is the peanut butter mac and cheese.
100%. Now that was one of the best sellers, and I was being 100% sarcastic with that comment. It was one of the best sellers because it was so viral. Like, it's so crazy. Some people actually liked it. I don't know if they were lying, but that was so greasy and so unappetizing looking. I couldn't make myself try it. But if you've tried it and we're missing out, put it in the comments. Let us know if you think they should bring it back, because it actually is something that you would continue to buy year after year. Peanut butter and jelly mac and cheese.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. So, yeah, a couple other things I did want to touch on. Some of the things they brought back, they did improve upon. So the Oso Dos last year, the meat was very like chewy, not very flavorful. It was much better this year. We got the wings. Actually, they said those wings were pretty good. And if you need to go watch Park Pass's episode because Tony and I are in it with him. He learned he liked some new foods he didn't think he liked or knew about. So there were definitely some hits and some misses, but overall, most of it just felt either same old, or interesting, not like really a hit or a miss. Like people were split.
Gotcha.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was a good time. Obviously, they did not have any live music while I was there, as far as other than the Jam and Chefs.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's really been pared down this year. I don't feel like there's as much of that, and I'd like to see that return as well.
Okay, so spring break season is in full swing with Food and Wine Festival, and with that, we also have some great ticket offers with our partners at Getaway Today, especially if you're a California resident. So you want to go to getawaytoday.com/Castle Talk, all one word. You can call them at 855-GETAWAY and let them know Castle Talk Radio sent you. That'll ensure that you get all of the deals available to listeners of Castle Talk Radio.